friends, it's summer and it's time for a Lectio Divina. We're going to be doing this Lectio Divina on Exodus 3, and I'm going to read through the context and then focus in on verses 7 and 8a. And as you know, Emmanuel journaling is built to, the stages are built to mirror these particular verses. But we're not just taking this out of context. We can show you verse after verse after verse after verse about God's being concerned with suffering, God seeing us, God's hearing us. Again, God's being concerned with our suffering, and then his tenderness towards our weakness. And again, that he loves to give us resources in the places where we come to him. So we're not just taking this out of context. These particular verses are tightly describing the character of God in a way that today we can savor and sit with and look into Jesus' eyes, look into God's eyes, recognizing that this is the feast between us. This is how we can receive him, and this is how we can worship him and thank him that this is who he is. So go ahead and take a couple deep breaths, or whatever that it is that you do to cultivate a space of stillness in your heart in order to receive the word. I'm going to take my 3 deep breaths. Lord Jesus Christ, thank you that you are here with me in this room, on my front porch. You are with the person that's driving in their car. You are present. Would you open up our awareness to your presence with us, Lord? In Jesus Christ's name, amen. Now Moses was tending the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the far side of the desert and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There the angel of the Lord appeared to him in flames of fire from within a bush. And Moses saw that though the bush was on fire, it did not burn up. So Moses thought, I will go over and see this strange sight, why the bush does not burn up. And when the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, Moses, Moses. And Moses said, Here I am. Do not come any closer, God said. Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. And then he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And at this, Moses hid his face because he was afraid to look at God. And the Lord said, I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them crying out because of their slave drivers. and I am concerned about their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them from the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey, the home of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. So this time as I read, I'm just going to read 7 and 8a. And this time listen for a word or phrase that seems like it's asking you to pay attention, to kind of hold on to it. The Lord said, I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I am concerned about their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them from the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land into a good and spacious land. Go ahead and sit with that word or phrase. This time as you listen for an invitation. What is the Lord inviting you to know, to do, or to become? The Lord said, I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them crying out because of their slave drivers. And I am concerned about their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them from the hand of the Egyptians and to bring them up out of that land into a good and spacious land. Go ahead and sit and ask the Lord for an invitation. It's time now to respond to the Lord. What is being stirred up in you? What emotion is coming up that you need to tell the Lord about? Lord, you desire to bring us into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey. But it's you. It's connection with you. It's your rescuing. It's your compassion that brings us there. Would you root this seed deep in our lives and cause it to grow in Jesus Christ's name? Amen. And now, friends, may you know today that you are being held in the hollow of God's hand. Have a wonderful day, friends.